Hey! What's up guys, LittleKuriboh here once again, with yet another episode of LittleKuriboh Watches YGO GX. And if you remember, last episode ended with something of a cliffhanger, well, more of a volcano hanger, as North Academy had invited me to try out for its ranks. Yeah, they wanted me to climb inside a massive, active volcano here on the Academy Island itself, and collect around 80 trading cards in order to prove that I was a worthy duelist, worthy of being part of a school whose primary process of application is getting shot out of one of their submarines. It turns out I'm not worthy. Yeah, I was inside the volcano for about a minute before I realized that all of the trading cards had burnt to dust. Yeah, who'd have thunk that these tiny cards wouldn't survive temperatures of upwards of 1,000 degrees. Not the staff of North Academy, apparently. So yeah, unfortunately I had to let North Academy down and tell them that I couldn't join their school this year. At least not until they'd seriously considered updating their application process. They're actually in a hot air balloon floating away from the island right now, looking very disappointed. That's North Academy, known for luring students into their inexplicably complicated schemes and also using unorthodox transportation. But yes, welcome to yet another episode of LittleKuriboh Watches YGO GX, a show where I, LittleKuriboh, sit down, watch an episode of YGO GX, and then get on camera and have a bit of a chinwag with you guys about how I felt about it. And I know it's not like I give these episodes ratings out of 10. If I did, I'd be giving them all 10 out of 10 because of the copious amounts of booty within them. No, this series is more just about me having a casual reaction to what happened in the show. And I feel like it's more real. I feel like I personally would get more out of something like this because I'm not trying to sell you on the show or on my reaction to the show. I'm just trying to hang out and talk about it. So if you're looking for something a little more in-depth, look elsewhere. But if you're here to listen to a British bloke say cheeky things about an anime from about 20 years ago, you found the right place. And if you want to watch along, don't forget that you can watch it on DVD, you can watch it on Hulu, you can watch it at YGO.com, you can watch it on YouTube. There's many ways to watch YGO GX. But since last week's episode ended on such a tense note, let's not waste any more time and dive right in to YGO GX episode 26, The School Duel, Part 2. And as we return to the action in this episode, we see that Armed Dragon level 7 is bearing down on Jaden Yuki. But at the last second, he's able to activate his trap card, Hero Spirit. And while Armed Dragon's attack is successful and Elemental Hero Avion is destroyed, Jaden explains that Hero Spirit means that when an Elemental Hero is destroyed during this turn, he doesn't take any damage. In fact, he takes this much damage.
All damage goes to 0, zilch, zip, nada.
Congratulations, you can use a thesaurus.
I guarantee you for the rest of this duel, Jaden was wondering what kind of duel monster a thesaurus was. Chazz explains it'll take more than words to destroy his Armed Dragon, and meanwhile, Armed Dragon has apparently noticed that somebody's left their gum on the ceiling. Jaden, having survived that devastating cliffhanger, takes his turn.
Gotta get something started!
Okay, I thought we were done with the whole throwing your cards in my face thing. Are we not done with that? Jaden successfully draws his old friend, Winged Kuriboh.
Oh, hey there, Kuriboh.
You know, it occurs to me that Winged Kuriboh sounds just like Bastion after he's inhaled a lot of helium. Jaden summons Winged Kuriboh in defense mode, who shows up like he's about to drop the hottest track of 2019. Chazz asks Jaden why he summoned Winged Kuriboh. Is he planning to do some dusting? Side note, it's actually very dangerous to dust with a Kuriboh. They tend to explode when any pressure is placed upon them. So unless you want exploded Kuriboh bits all over your dusty house, don't do it. That filthy son of a bitch Ojama Yellow shows up and talks shit about Kuribohs.
I mean, those furballs give me the creeps. Just look at him, all that hair.
Oh, like you're such a catch, bitch. Winged Kuriboh jumps up onto Jaden's shoulders and tries to get him to notice Ojama Yellow.
Hey, I see him.
How do you fucking miss him? Oh yeah, the terrifying yellow demonic entity with the giant eye stalks and the upsetting figure. Yeah, oh, could see how you missed that. Chazz draws.
Now back to business. It's my turn.
fucking stop. Chazz then commands Armed Dragon level 7 to attack Winged Kuriboh with Dragon Talon Terror. And just so you know, the Dragon Talon Terror threat level has been raised to orange. Winged Kuriboh gets predictably obliterated. Pour one out for my Kuribros. Cyrus wonders why Chazz didn't just use Armed Dragon's special ability. So Bastion explains,
because Kuriboh's would cancel it out. The turn in which he's destroyed, Jaden takes no damage.
I wish Bastion were always around to partially explain things that seem like plot holes. Well, you see, it made perfect sense for Admiral Holdo to keep her plan a secret in The Last Jedi, because Jaden activates his spell card, Special Hurricane, which is like a regular hurricane, except it's his birthday, so he's special. And he explains that by discarding a card from his hand, this spell card allows him to destroy any monster on the field that was special summoned. And so Armed Dragon level 7 explodes. Level 0 now. Even Chumley is impressed.
So-licious.
Add it to the list.
Totally what I'd have done. You know, if I had those cards. And if Jaden were walking me through it step by step.
That's all. Maybe he should hold your hand as well.
Alright, Bastion, maybe you should hold a hand in front of your mouth, so we don't have to hear from you. Jaden summons the expert of boomeranging himself in the face. Elemental hero Wildheart.
You're in for some heartbreak! Actually, that doesn't make any sense.
It's a bit late to start pointing out things in this show that don't make sense, Jaden. Elemental hero Wildheart attacks Chazz directly with his sword, dealing direct damage and sending Chazz halfway across the duel arena, and totally redeeming Elemental hero Wildheart. No, I'm sorry, I can't keep a straight face. He's always gonna be the elemental hero that boomeranged himself in the face. That's his high school yearbook photo. Chancellor Shepard is a good sport, as always, and gives Foster his due.
Ha! The prize is so mine! After all, looks like your boy's down for the count. Sorry!
Or he's just a total fucking nutcase. Foster tries encouraging Chazz.
Chazz, get up!
Chazz, get up!
It's too late. I've fallen, and I can't Chazz it up. Chazz's brothers, Slade and Jagger Princeton, are very frustrated with him.
What does Chazz think he's doing? We've given him the best cards in the world, but he's not using them.
Yeah, I'd be upset too if I'd given my brother a briefcase full of water ponds and he hadn't used a single one of them. Chazz plays the spell card Graveyard in the 4th dimension. That's the GY in 4D. This lets him put 2 cards from his graveyard back into his deck, so of course he chooses his Armed Dragon cards. And then he once again summons Armed Dragon level 3 to the field, much to the crowd's entertainment.
I summon the Armed Dragon level 3!
Yeah, he brought that shitty little dragon! Yeah, Chazz! You're shit. Chazz thinks to himself that he has to win. He can't let his brothers down. And we see these shots of Slade and Jagger looking down their noses at Chazz, as if they're very disappointed in him. But it also kind of looks like they just found something gross in their salad. Even Jaden notices that Chazz seems to be distracted by the presence of his brothers in the crowd. Wait, if they're just sat there in the crowd, do the other students not hear them chatting about world domination, etc.? I think that would be a bit of a cause for concern if I had to be sat next to Slade Princeton. Jaden remembers overhearing Chazz in the bathroom earlier.
Poor guy. He's gotta realize that the only thing worth dueling for is fun.
And also for getting egg witches, but mostly for fun. Jaden reaffirms to himself that he's got to win this duel because it's the only way to show Chazz what dueling is all about.
That's it. I've gotta win this duel now. To show Chazz what dueling's really about.
I feel like there are any number of ways you could help Chazz that don't involve humiliating him on live TV. The crowd reacts to Chazz's lukewarm commentary like someone just threw a chair on an episode of Jerry Springer.
Let's duel!
What do you think we've been doing?
But Jaden isn't perturbed.
Try cheering this! Wild Heart!
Yeah, trying to cheer for Wildheart would be pretty difficult. given his history. Wildheart attacks with Wild Slash and destroys Armed Dragon level 3. Oh, he somehow managed to not hurt himself after 2 attacks. That's a big win for him. Chazz activates his trap card, Grave of Enkindling, which means they both get to pick a monster from the graveyard and summon it in defense mode. Chazz summons Armed Dragon level 5 in defense mode, who immediately covers his mouth like he just remembered a really racist joke and feels guilty for laughing about it. Meanwhile, on Jaden's side of the field, he summons Hero Kid, and Chazz's brothers Slade and Taserface are shocked.
Huh? A kid?
Yeah, it wasn't weird when it was half-naked Native American superheroes fighting dragons. But kids! What the hell? I should mention that Hero Kid looks like Buzz Lightyear's annoying anime stepchild. Chazz accuses Jaden of summoning a monster that wasn't in his graveyard, and then Jaden says, "Oh yeah? Think again," and Chazz flashes back to a couple of turns ago, and then immediately comes back to the present and says, "Oh yeah." I'm not exaggerating, it's kind of amazing. Jaden explains that when Hero Kid is special summoned, he can summon all of his Hero Kids. Yeah, Jaden having kids is not something I want to spend too much time describing or thinking about. Chazz realizes that with all these monsters on Jaden's side of the field, Jaden must be trying to get him to discard 3 cards via Armed Dragon's ability. But then Chazz announces he only has to use 1 card. Meanwhile, Chancellor Shepard is considering switching career paths to music critic, and he's listening to some of U2's most popular hits.
1! I don't like the sound of this one bit!
Chazz activates the spell card Level Up.
What's level up do?
Wow, guess it's true. Those who can't duel, teach.
In that case, I'm eagerly anticipating the sequel series to GX, where we see Chumley teaching defense against the dark arts. Chazz uses his spell card to level his Armed Dragon up to level 7, and the crowd goes wild.
No. With that, Chazz can destroy all of Jaden's monsters again.
Are we quite sure that Zane hasn't also been sent to the graveyard during this duel? Because his emotional investment would suggest as much. Armed Dragon level 7 roars defiantly, and the camera crew is getting all of it.
That's it, baby! The whole world's watching you shine!
Not really helping Armed Dragon's infamous anxiety for performing in front of crowds there, director. He's very shy. Chazz equips Armed Dragon with Armed Changer, giving it massive Wolverine-esque drill fingers, like a Drillverine or a Wolverdrill. Anyway, he can help you with any remodeling you need done. Armed Dragon's arm turns into a massive cartoon whirlwind effect as it swings its devastating attack toward elemental hero Wildheart. And Wildheart just sort of stares blankly straight ahead as he gets attacked and destroyed, because he knows full well that nothing could do more damage to him than that embarrassing boomerang botch from a few episodes ago. Jaden's life points drop to 300, and Chazz explains that when Armed Changer is used to destroy a monster, he can bring back any monster from his graveyard back to his hand. And of course, the monster that Chazz brings back is then used to activate Armed Dragon's special ability. So of course, Armed Dragon level 7's nipples detach from its body, becoming serrated sonic discs that then fly at these children in front of Jaden, destroying all of them. Oh, it's just like the holidays back home.
Looks like your hero kid just got grounded. Grounded up?
A bit of classic child mutilation humor there from YGO GX. Shepard encourages Jaden not to give up, and Jaden says how could he give up? He's having way too much fun. You know, I really wish I had the same superpower as everybody in GX seems to have, where you can hear someone from across a crowded arena and have a wee little chat with them. At any time. I can't even hear people sitting on the same couch as me half the time. Jaden's exuberance is just too much for Chazz.
Cause if you're having fun, you win every time.
Gag me.
Well, I'm sure there are fanfics where that does happen. Jaden points out that if he can have fun while losing, surely Chazz can have fun while he's winning. And he adds that it's not that hard, despite what Chazz's brothers want him to believe.
Oh, come on, Chazz. Remember when you dueled for the excitement of it?
You know, I'd love to see Jaden intrude on one of Yami Yugi's duels where he's fighting for the fate of the world, and interrupt and say, "Hey man, remember when you dueled just for the fun of it? Come on, have some fun!" He just walks in on the Yami Yugi versus Raphael Orichalcos duel after Yugi's soul has been taken, and he's like, "Come on man, have some fun! Why the long face? Remember when you used to enjoy this game?" Jaden fusion summons elemental hero Flame Wingman, and Chazz is unimpressed, saying that even Flame Wingman's attack doesn't match up to Armed Dragon.
You're way outmatched.
Wrong, Chazz. Cause I'm inviting my 3 hero kids to come back out and play.
You know, Jaden shouldn't be allowed near kids. Not after he just watched The Undertaker die. and did nothing to help him.
To play? Yeah, with your points!
Play with his points? You really shouldn't be allowed near kids, Jaden. Jaden activates his trap card, Miracle Kids, and he explains that for every hero kid in his graveyard, Armed Dragon now loses 400 attack points. Jaden Yuki there just using dead children to his advantage. Elemental hero Flame Wingman uses the sheer gravitational force from its thigh gap to destroy Armed Dragon and its serrated sonic nipples. The director of the duel footage suddenly panics, realizing that Chazz is bound to lose, and he instructs his crew to cut the transmission. You know, the one going out worldwide, which likely costs them thousands upon thousands of dollars for not showing the duel in its entirety on however many channels it's going out to, you know, violation of contract and all. But hey, at least they saved the reputation of the Princeton family. Across the world, the footage is replaced by that of a newscaster who says this.
Hello! We interrupt this duel for a special news bulletin to report that everything's fine.
You know what? I'd probably be tempted to watch a lot more TV if they kept telling me that everything was fine, as opposed to the bleak, nihilistic media landscape we now live in. Chazz is finally finished off as Flame Wingman's special ability kicks in and he loses the same number of life points as Armed Dragon had attack points. And as Chazz assumes the I just lost a children's trading card game position, his brothers immediately lay into him.
You dog! You've disgraced yourself. You've disgraced the Princeton name.
Yes, heaven forbid you disgrace something associated with the good names Slade and Jagger.
I thought I could win this by myself.
And of course by myself, he means with the direct and plentiful assistance of North Academy. Chazz's brothers basically start abusing him in front of a crowd, and this is where Jaden draws the line.
Let him go! Huh? Yeah, sure he lost. But how could he not with you two jerks breathing down his neck?
Oh, and don't forget Ojama Yellow. He was also breathing down Chazz's neck. Literally. It's very creepy. Jaden stands up to Chazz's brothers, flanked by all of his friends and Zane. And I just realized that Chumley's head is about twice the size of Cyrus's torso. So I'm scared. Chazz's brothers announce to the entire crowd surrounding them that they are disowning Chazz officially. I wish this was still being broadcast to the world, because it would be amazing TV, not like that card game bollocks. Jaden says that Chazz did win one battle today, the battle against his brothers. Wait, how did losing a card game and then crying on his hands and knees and begging his brothers for forgiveness equal winning the battle against them? Oh, because he didn't use the trading cards that they suggested? Yeah, way to stick it to the man, Chazz.
Sure, Chazz may not have won the duel, but hey, at least he fought it on his own terms.
More like North Academy's terms, but sure, his own terms. Chazz is understandably reluctant to receive the support that Jaden is giving him, and he says that nobody else here believes the things that Jaden is saying. And then to his and my surprise, the crowd on both sides of the field start chanting Chazz it up. And it's actually a really sweet and moving moment. It's kind of like when JJ failed at the Grand Prix in the penultimate episode of Yuri on Ice, but then everyone started cheering for him and it was really sad. You don't know what I'm talking about. Chazz's brothers leave, saying they don't have time for this garbage. And then the next thing we see is Chazz watching them leave over the horizon in their helicopters.
Guess now there's just one last matter to settle.
Throw Ojama Yellow into the ocean? Get tricked into joining yet another school? Oh, no, it turns out it's to say goodbye to all of his North Academy chums. Yes, it turns out that the duel against Jaden has given Chazz enough time to reconsider his incredibly hasty decision to join the ranks of North Academy, a school that tricked him into joining, where he has also never attended a single class. Chazz says that Duel Academy was always his real home. I guess he just had to find his catchphrase to feel worthy of belonging there. North Academy is, of course, devastated by this turn of events.
But you're our best duelist, Chazz. You sure?
Yeah, way to remind Chazz that he does always have the option of being a big fish in a shit pond. Chazz says he's positive about this, as long as Chancellor Shepard will have him back.
Well, Chazz, you were one of the best students we had. How could I say no?
So wait, losing to Jaden got Chazz humiliated into leaving Duel Academy. But also losing to Jaden reminded everybody how great Chazz was. Okay. Behind them all, Crowler is seen standing on a massive ceremony stage that has been erected for this event.
I give you the most beautiful woman on the island, Miss Duel Academy!
Okay, if Miss Duel Academy isn't Pharaoh the Cat, then something is wrong with their voting system. It turns out that Miss Dorothy from the Card Shack is actually Miss Duel Academy, and she comes on stage wearing a nice evening gown. And then it's revealed that the prize for winning the school duel is the Chancellor of the representing school getting a kiss on the cheek from her. Oh, that's actually really sweet. This is a really lovely moment, and it's nice to see a non-conventionally attractive woman like Miss Dorothy getting showcased like this. Meanwhile, Chancellor Foster breaks down into tears and rushes off, saying that he'll be back for Miss Dorothy next time.
That's a chick?
Now, I know that seems very offensive and rather tone-deaf, but in Chazz's defense, he's never seen Miss Dorothy lay an egg that became an egg witch. Later, the North Academy students are waving goodbye to their old friend Chazz that they've known for less than 24 hours.
Don't worry, Foster. I'll take good care of her for you.
Chancellor Shepard there, just sort of casually bragging about how he's gonna Miss Dorothy after all this. Despite Chancellor Shepard's rather randy announcement, the North Academy students are still heartbroken.
Just one last cheer!
Oh, don't listen to that crying baby. If you give him what he wants, he'll never stop bawling. Just put nipple in his mouth and be done with him. The North Academy students serenade Chazz from the submarine. Yeah, maybe you'll be toilet trained by then. Professor Banner tells Chazz that since he dropped out of Duel Academy and came back, he's technically a new student, and will therefore have to start over in Slifer Red. Chazz is disgusted by this turn of events. But look, mate, at least they didn't sabotage your boat and then force you to collect 40 trading cards in below freezing conditions, and then make you duel 50 guys in a row, and then make you duel another guy after that. I think being put into Slifer Red is like being checked into a 5-star hotel in comparison, you Despite Chazz's protestations, Jaden insists that they do the Slifer Red cheer.
S-L-I-F-E! Can we just stick with Chazz it up?
Or Slifer it up!
Duel Academy there, producing duelists and catchphrases since 2004. The heroes of our show all lean down and laugh directly into Chazz's face, including Bastion, which probably hurts way more than Chazz's own brothers disowning him. As the episode comes to a conclusion, we hear these final words from Chancellor Foster.
Dorothy, my dear, I'll come back for you! I'll come back!
Look, mate, why don't you just wait for her to get on a boat bound for the North Pole and then just capsize it, like you do all your other friends? And that's the end of the episode. What did you think of it? I was actually really into it. I didn't think that I would be so invested in Chazz versus Jaden round 2. You know, obviously in Duel Monsters you had like Kaiba versus Yugi, and you were itching for them to sort of face off again later down the line, but in this instance, it isn't really anything like that. These guys are just sort of a couple of kids, and they're being, in some ways, manipulated by forces beyond their control. And it ended up being a really good duel, and it ended up being a really nice little story. They made things matter both on, you know, the grand scale of things, in as far as, like, it being the school duel and it meaning a lot for both North Academy and Duel Academy, but it also meant a lot for Chazz as a character to be able to prove himself and to be able to step out from under his brother's shadow. So yeah, I did dig this one, and it was a nice little exploration of Armed Dragon and how it can be used and how you can bring things back from the graveyard and special summon them and then replace them and everything. There was a lot of cool little stuff going on. Yeah, there were a lot of things to like about this one. I really dug it. I can't say that I disliked it at all. But please, if you have any comments of your own, chazz them down there in the comments section. And before I sign off and look forward to seeing another episode of YGO GX with you guys next time, I want to give a massive Duel Academy size shout out to the Patreon pledges. Thank you so much to all of you guys, and especially all of you down there at the bottom of the screen. You guys make it work. You guys make it happen. You guys are the level up spell card that I need to level up to LittleKuriboh level 9 or 10 or however many levels there are. None. But whatever level we are at, it's because of you guys. And I want to say thank you so much for helping us out. We wouldn't be here without you guys, and that's the truth. So thank you. I'll see you next time, and don't forget to chazz it up!
Chazz it up! Chazz it up!